The reason Snow White is called Snow White in this version of the film, because of course she is not white as snow, is because she and her family go through a snowstorm and survive the snowstorm, and so it's a mark of her resilience. That's why she's called Snow.
Who is causing Disney the greatest headache of all? Mirror. Mirror on the wall. It appears to be their own Snow White. Disney executives are frantically trying to control leading lady Rachel Zegler, who, according to insiders, has gone totally awry, as reported by Page 6.
Congrats on the film. How does it feel to finally have it come out?
Feels wonderful.
She is reportedly out of control, making their PR problem worse by refusing to follow clear instructions from corporate executives. Disney is apparently abandoning traditional press interviews as a last resort to control the mayhem. To interview Zegler, they are instead handpicking highly screened influencers. The objective? To restrain their unruly canon princess before she annihilates the kingdom. To be honest, that's a very significant step on Disney's behalf. How did it get this terrible, then? You see, executives are going crazy about Zegler's constant political tirades, particularly her infatuation with linking activism to the movie. An insider told Page 6 that it has been like way throughout the whole filming process. Remember that Rachel Zegler famously broke down after the election, wishing that Trump supporters would never experience peace. Disney is taking dramatic measures to clean up the problem after Zegler turned out to be a walking PR disaster, relying on carefully chosen influencers. So Disney is formally handing over its billion-dollar franchise to YouTubers and TikTokers. What is actually happening here? Even more perplexing is the fact that Disney subtly changed its worldwide Snow White launch from the customary red carpet extravaganza to something more subdued. And we assure you that it is being observed. The European event this week wasn't even referred to as a premiere. Families from Segovia, a quaint community of about 51,000 people, and local Spanish influencers filled the guest list instead of Hollywood royalty. You mean it's not the A-list? Rachel Zegler was essentially left on her own, as if that wasn't enough of a warning sign. With director Mark Webb at her side, Rachel had to smile through the difficult situation because her co-star Gal Gadot was nowhere to be seen. What was supposed to have been a glamorous London premiere was actually replaced by this scaled-down European affair, and insiders claim that the LA event is receiving the same treatment. Why? It's easy. Instead of confronting difficult inquiries regarding the film's numerous problems, Disney appears to be strengthening its hold. How? By foregoing full-scale premieres in favor of regulated press conferences. All right, let's go back a bit. How did it get to the point where Disney no longer wants to promote one of its biggest films? The fact that Zegler has also been venting online is largely to blame for this. She's been in full damage control mode lately, and this time she retaliated against a social media user who dared to doubt her voice abilities. The hate train returned to Rachel's socials following her live performance of Waiting on a Wish in Spain. Disney was even criticized by a reviewer for not hiring a real soprano for the part. Zegler retaliated instantly, saying, "I am a soprano." Disney is currently streaming West Side Story. When a performer is unable to cope with negative publicity, you know something is off. The question is more obvious with each action Disney takes. Are they defending themselves against Zegler? Or defending Zegler? Since the beginning, Rachel has been a living PR nightmare for this movie, let's face it. It all began when Rachel Zegler, the aspiring Latina actress from Spielberg's West Side Story, made the decision to make a mess of the 1937 Disney classic. Let's just say that Disney aficionados are not amused. Zegler essentially referred to the original Snow White as a creepy stalker victim in a 2022 interview with Variety. She even acknowledged that she had only seen the original once before never picking it up again since she was afraid of it. The first cartoon frightened me. I believe I just watched it once before deciding never to see it again. At Disney's D23 Expo, Zegler did more than just play her, even though you paid up to do so. With pride, she announced that her Snow White would never longer dream of genuine love. She will be too preoccupied with planning her ascent to power. We all enjoy a strong female lead, but did she really change the plot entirely? Naturally, there was a significant backlash after this interview appeared on social media. Many people believe that Rachel should have made a whole different film if she just didn't enjoy the original plot.
I mean, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story, with a guy who literally stalks her. Weird. So we didn't do that this time.
But that's not all. The son of the original Snow White supervisor, David Hale Han, is not present. He criticized Disney for ruining his father's legacy in a harsh interview with Page Six, and he made it very obvious that he would not be purchasing a ticket. All right, you know something is wrong when the original author's family refuses to accept your remake. The original was the way it should be, and that the new film is so far off base that it's ridiculous, Hand continued. But hold on, things get worse. Hand said the revisions would make Walt Disney and his father roll in their graves, in addition to criticizing the movie. Sandra Hand, his wife, went one step further and added that David's father was really proud of the movie and would ask, "What have you done?" The true question now is, of course, whether Disney is still concerned about this criticism.
She's not going to be safe with the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be, and the leader that her late father told her that she could be if she was fearless, fair, brave, and true.
When fans noticed that Snow White's 7 dwarfs had been swapped out for a jumble of variously sized extras, set images from the previous year went viral. Jason Acuna stepped out to completely mock Disney at this exact moment. Jobs that people may have as tiny people are being replaced by you. It's intended for dwarfs. Why are you employing the 7 mediocre people and Snow White? Jobs that people may have as tiny people are being replaced by you. It's for dwarves, Snow White, and the 7 dwarves. Disney quickly eliminated the unimpressive dwarfs completely, as if this wasn't awful enough. And you know what they used in their place? CGI characters. The reaction was immediate. When early set images showed random extras playing the 7 dwarfs, people were already dubious. However, now that CGI is involved, the fury has exploded. Would Disney ever employ real actors, or were they only rushing to clear up yet another PR disaster? Having achondroplasia, a kind of dwarfism,
by the Brothers Grimm, great little fairy tale, leave it as is. If you don't like it, make your own one.
It's not been rewritten, though.
It has been rewritten.
When
Rachel says, so we're not doing that this time.
actor Peter Dinklage was unimpressed with Disney's supposedly progressive decisions. He attacked the studio for its selective wokeness in a fiery interview. He questioned how Disney could celebrate the choice of a Latina actress for the role of Snow White while continuing to create a story that perpetuates antiquated depictions of small people. The paradox was obvious to him, and he didn't hesitate to point it out.
In one way, but you're still making that backward story of 7 dwarves living in a
Disney faced significant backlash after Peter Dinklage criticized their live-action Snow White as outdated. In response, Disney pledged not to perpetuate stereotypes from the 1937 film and consulted with the dwarfism community for guidance. However, the casting choices raised eyebrows, as they featured a diverse range of actors rather than individuals with dwarfism, leaving fans puzzled. Actress Rachel Zegler, amidst the controversy, has chosen to remain tight-lipped. She recently focused on her role in Evita on the West End, and, when asked about Snow White, briefly expressed gratitude before swiftly exiting the scene. This abrupt shift from her previous outspokenness on the film's issues suggests a deliberate withdrawal from public scrutiny. Meanwhile, Disney's efforts at damage control reflect broader industry concerns about representation and sensitivity in media portrayals. As the tension surrounding Snow White's release mounts, both critics and fans eagerly await its reception in theaters, curious to see how Disney's adaptation will fare amidst the ongoing scrutiny. So what are your thoughts on Rachel getting fired by Disney after the Snow White disaster? Let us know in the comments.